So, second attempt at getting this to set up properly. A live video. Okay, camera set up properly. It's still a little laggy to me. I'll wait until somebody else pops in to ask if there's a lag, but in the meanwhile, I'll continue as if someone is watching the replay. I'm here a couple minutes early because I always set up my camera wrong. I film on my phone, so I don't have a fancy camera or anything. We're definitely on a strict budget here on this channel. It's wobbly a little bit. Let's see. Okay. We will have to see if the delay affects anybody other than me. It could just be my internet quality, which I would hate to think that because we pay a fortune for very nice internet. Today I'm going to be making some Valentines. I have not yet made Valentine cards for my husband or my daughter because I'm a terrible person. So I was going to do them on Friday, and my daughter was sick and she stayed home from school, and then my daughter was home all weekend, so I couldn't make Valentine's Day cards with her here constantly clinging to me. So she's back in school today. My husband's at work. Yay! I love it when they go to their respective places. So I'm going to make some Valentine's Day cards for them. So I'm not sure which one to start with first. But you know what? I'll probably start with my daughter's, but let me stamp out the images for my husband's. Because I'm going to be stamping out in a hybrid ink and it's going to need a little bit of time to dry. So for my husband, here's kind of just like my rough sketch. I'll usually sketch. This is my little book here that I keep just on hand to sketch some card ideas. Hi, Nick's Crafty Corner. Hey, is there a lot of delay? Is there a lot of lag from your end? I'm watching my own live stream on my computer, and it's really laggy on my computer, and I don't know if it's coming from my phone that I'm filming on or if it's just my internet. If you could take a look and let me know, I'd appreciate that. So for my husband, I thought that I would use my Avery L Shine Bright stamp set and use this lighthouse image. Okay, good. Thank you for checking. So I'll try not to look because it'll keep throwing me off, so I won't look at my screen. But I'm going to use this lighthouse and maybe a couple of other things for a card for my husband. And I had this brilliant idea this morning. My my husband was sick like earlier last week. He had some sort of weird stomach bug, and he's just been really like, you know, men die when they have a cold and just really complaining or whatever. So he was acting this morning like he was a big hero because he's going to work today. So as I was pulling my stamp sets and getting ready to do this project, hi Brina, I found the Majestic AF stamp set that I have from the Ink Road. Let me get the cat hair off of it. And this sentiment right here. I would like to personally congratulate you for getting out of bed today. I thought that it would be hysterical to do a Valentine's Day card for my husband with that sentiment, and then I'll write my lovey-dovey, you know, sentiment on the inside, but I just thought that would be fun. And then for my daughter, we're going to be making a Lawn Fawn Shadow Box card for her because pretty much all the cards that I make her are Shadow Box cards. She has a whole collection of them. And I'm going to be using the new I Love Eucalyptus little koala thing from Lawn Fawn. You know what though? I don't think that I don't know if she knows what eucalyptus is. She's 10. So I might leave out the eucalyptus part and just leave it as I love you just because she'll love the koala. He's cute, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to make a little shadow box for her, a funny card for my husband, and I already have, because I had intended to do this a lot earlier, I already have the koalas all stamped out. So I thought I would quickly stamp out the lighthouse too, and then let that dry because I'm going to be using my ink here because I'm going to do some Tombow coloring, and let that dry, and then we'll focus on coloring. Then we'll die cut everything together, so I only have to turn on the machine once, and then we'll pull some stuff together. I'm going to be using a lot of supplies from my stash, things to use up. I know you can't see it on camera, but on the floor by my feet I have a whole bucket of colored paper scraps from other projects. If I can pull those in, I'm going to pull them in. I'm going to be stamping on some Bristol white cardstock. This is how I keep my Bristol. I buy it in the large 9x6 pads, and I cut them into quarters, and I put them in these Ziploc bags to keep them relatively clean and dust free, and I just kind of grab a page here and there as I need it. I love Bristol cardstock for my Tombow markers. Let's do this really quick. Then we'll color everything. It'll be fun. I love coloring. I'm doing okay today, but my back has been out the last week and a half-ish, and I've been kind of left alone and lonely on the couch. I'm gonna cut out, I don't know if I'm gonna need them or not, but I want a couple of these clouds, I think. So I've been doing a lot of coloring from bed and from the couch. I'm just gonna stamp out a couple of these in case I need them. Okay. And you're gonna laugh when you see the paper that I've picked out for my husband's card. Let me show you now. So this is all about using up scraps of things. So I have this Seaside paper pad from Love Nicole, and I think I got this like 2 years ago from Blitsy when they were doing their Black Friday, because of course I'm going to use it all the time. Well, I barely ever use it. So it has this paper in it here that has this lighthouse already on it, on sort of like a rocky cliff or whatever, and I had cut the lighthouse out to use it to make it into a sticker for another project. So I still had half the paper left from that, and I was like, oh, I'll just cut it down. So I'm going to use this patterned paper as my backdrop. I thought it would be kind of funny having this sort of real life photograph of the ocean, if you will, and then sort of like my cartoony lighthouse on top of it. My husband and I are very weird. I assure you he's going to love it. Hi Deb, how are you? Everyone check out Deb's channel. I love her projects. She does a lot of really awesome collaborations. So I'm just going to stamp this out and I'll let it dry. We're supposed to be getting more snow tomorrow. Another, you know, just 6 to 10 inches. Ugh. I'm so ready for winter to be over. Ugh, I hate winter. Okay, good enough. Where's my thingamajiggy? Here it is. By thingamajiggy, I mean my chamois here. Only a couple of inches of snow. Oh yeah, you're so lucky. This winter has it's just been brutal on everyone. All of my friends and family in the south, and ugh. I hate winter. And there's like no escaping it. All the cold. So I'm just going to let this sit aside here and let the ink dry a little bit. It's usually not too bad, but this is a hybrid ink, so it does have the pigment in it, and if I was to start coloring on this right away, I'd get a little bit of smudge. And I don't want that, but luckily I have something else that I can color right now. Oh, I was going to ask where I put the envelope for this. It's right here. And Brina is still in here as well. Brina does some fun stuff too. Everyone check everyone out. So for coloring, I'm going to do some very quick watercoloring with my Tombow markers. And I keep my Tombow markers in my little travel bag that you all have seen a million times. But I recently, when I was cleaning out my workspace, I found that I have a one of these tins, the distress marker tins. And it's not... it's a little bit too short to fit my Tombow markers in and close the lid, but the lid had a little damage on it. So I just ripped the lid off entirely, and I keep my markers in here without a top on it. So this is all my Tombow markers, and I do keep them in a travel tote so I can take them on the go coloring, but if I'm at home just coloring at my desk, I can just take this out like my pencil cup. So for Tombow watercoloring, obviously I have my Tombow. I've stamped on my Bristol paper, and the only other thing that I use is a paintbrush. And I keep this water bottle. This is not drinking drinking water. This is my paint water that I take with me on the go as well. So I'll have that possibly off camera over here. So I like to test my colors. I do have a color chart for my Tombows, but I don't know where it is. Especially if it's a project for my own family, I know that they love everything that I do, so I don't get too stressed out about it. Deb, if as far as I know, they don't have to be kept sideways. Oh, good morning, Teresa. I haven't done my craft room tour yet for this year, but Teresa has made me some lovely cards, and they're hanging right over my desk over here, so I see them every day. That's so funny, Brianna. You know what's interesting? My husband is what we call a martyr. He'll keep going, but he will like moan the whole time, like he's on the brink of death. And he wants like special recognition. Like, look, I loaded the dishwasher even though I'm sick. So he's what I call the martyr, the martyred sickness. And to be fair, like I should disclose, I'm not super great when I'm genuinely sick either. When I'm sick, the only thing that I ever want is my husband. So I get very cranky if he's not home. So for my Tombow watercoloring, I literally just like color the outsides and then come in with the inside with water, and then it shades it a little bit, and that's it. You guys know I'm not very great at coloring. I love coloring. Coloring is fun, but I'm not good at coloring. And that's just fine with me. If I was using, $1,000 worth of Copics or whatever, I would want to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth, but I'm not. So I've just wet my brush, and I took a little too much water off. I generally tap some of the excess water off like the side of the table, but I took too much off. And then I'm just going to wet all the things that I colored and then just bring everything to the center. And then that's it. That's how I watercolor with Tombows. It is super easy, super quick. I can do a ton of these at once. The only thing that I should point out is that if you're doing something that has a lot of color, or I should say more than one color, is that you should let the paper dry a little bit before you come in and apply the next color. So I'm going to let that little guy sit for a minute, and then I'll color this little branch. And then then I'll come back and then I'll put the pink in the ears. We're making Valentine's Day cards for my husband and my daughter. So for Leah, we're going to make a shadow box card for her, because all of the cards that I make for her are shadow box cards, and it's just another one for her collection. I'll slip it into her, I think Valentine's Day is Thursday, so I'll slip it into her lunchbox at school, and it's like a status symbol. Her classmates get all impressed when she gets a card, so it's cute. So I put a little bit of the ink down, and then I'm just going to come out with the water and blend it out, and that's it. It is the easiest, cheatsiest way to get fun colors ever. Little pink. Actually, we may not even need to blend that out because this pink is so light. That's it. Our koala's done. I'll color the rest of them I won't take you guys' time with the other ones. A stamped amount, I'll color them eventually, but we'll just set this one aside to dry. We're going to do the lighthouse. I don't know how to color the lighthouse. I think I want red stripes, so we'll just start with red. Little coloring. Does anybody have any really nice plans for Valentine's Day? Or do anything good? Deb, I go live very sporadically. Something new that I'm trying is I'm trying to at least give a couple days notice when I know that I am going to go live, and I'll have a little thing up on my channel saying when I'm gonna be live. A couple of times I've had to pull it because it ended up not working out, but I'd like to have a more consistent schedule, but my husband is a retail manager. And he literally just started this new job, so his schedule is so unpredictable that it's hard for me to plan anything because I can't really go live when he's here. He'll be way too annoying. Okay, then blue. I think for the roof, just because I'm not really inspired by anything. I'm just kind of picking colors that I know that I like. I'm almost gonna get all Bob Ross on you. Just pick what you like. Pick what you enjoy. I like red and blue together. I've been working with red and blue for, actually, I don't even think that I've put that. I filmed a video recently and it's not live yet because I haven't had a chance to edit it. And it's like a haul video, and I show some of the things that I've been making with alcohol marker, not alcohol, alcohol ink. So I've been playing with reds and blues the last couple of days with working on my alcohol ink things. So these are some of the cards that I've made, and these are my alcohol ink splatters, and then I heat embossed on them and die cut them. And so yeah, totally feeling red and blue. Definitely in the mood. I don't have any Zigs or Artezas. I literally just have the Tombos, and then that's it. I'm cheap. Let me just color the windows yellow. Do you have that stamp set, Teresa? I've had it for so long, and I haven't touched it. But do you know what? Let me just tell you something that really cool that happened. Right down the street, and we live in like the middle of nowhere, okay? There's nothing here, especially this time of year. Right down the street from us, within walking distance, they've opened a gem and mineral gift shop. How like weird is that? Okay, in the middle of nowhere. So I was thinking that I would finish these cards and I will take a walk down to them and see if they would take some of those geode cards on consignment. I'm just coloring my little door. And I'm using so little water that it won't take very long to dry at all. And I'm going to leave my clouds and even that fence white. So this was like the easiest coloring job ever. Boom, done. So we'll let that dry a little bit. Let's get the, whatever it's called, the Gemini started. How much comes in the big set of Artezas? I don't know too much about them, but they're cheaper than the Tombos and the Zigs, right? I think that's what I've heard, sort of a less expensive alternative. Not that they were that bad. My Tombos, I bought mostly the sets, and I got them when they were like deeply on sale, so it's not too bad. 96. Oh my goodness, that's quite a lot. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Excuse me. Teresa, have you tried their new acrylic paints that Arteza has recently come out with? I saw somebody using some on her jelly plate last night, and now I have to have them. Oh, I will, Brina. That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll check. I can't right now because my phone is what I'm recording on, but I'll make a note. Yeah, I'd like to see it. I think I do like the Tombos. I don't have the full collection of Tombos yet. Um, Zigs. Making a little note to myself to check it out. But they seem to be lacking a little bit in some of the shades that I would have liked. I do have my color chart in here. So some of the blues are almost the same. Like I would have wanted a wider variety of blues, and as usual, the reds are just not as red as I would like them to be. This is sort of the pinks and the reds. So I love my Tombos, and I will continue to use them until they're gone, and then I will consider investing in something else that has a little bit more of a broad range of colors that I like to use. But Arteza does have the color variety that works best for you. That's really good to know, and I do appreciate that there's... Oh, good. Yeah, I definitely am really in love with the the paints after I saw them. My husband, I don't know if I told you guys or not, but my husband has been doing paint pouring with acrylic paints lately. He doesn't have a Instagram or anything. I'm trying to convince him to do an Instagram, but to show his stuff off, and he's been using a lot of the acrylic paints that I would use for my jelly plate. He's been kind of using up in his paint pouring. I thought he might like some of the oh, I didn't put that on my skin. He might enjoy some of the Arteza acrylic paints as well. They're gorgeous. If you haven't seen them yet, definitely check them out. There's a few people on YouTube that have done reviews of them already, but I was just watching. I'm in I don't know if you guys are in the... I think it's last night I was in the Stamp Junkies Facebook group, and somebody was talking last night about a rude comment that someone had left on a friend's video, and I was like, well, I'm not standing for that crap. So I found out they told me what the channel was, and I was looking at her channel, and like her first thing is playing with these paints on her jelly plate, and I was like, oh my god. So now I have a new obsession, a new YouTube obsession, who doesn't even know I exist, by the way, so I'm like this creepy stalker person who's now watching all of the videos on her channel. My husband is actually more musical. He's a musician. He plays the drums and bass and guitar and piano, I think. I think that covers everything that he does. So he's a little bit more musical, I think, than... And it's funny because I don't want to say that he makes fun of what I do, but because he doesn't. He's incredibly supportive, but he always be like, oh, you're crafting again, goody, you know. And it's like, well, I'm at least doing something, and he does nothing but play on his phone, you know, every day when we're home. So it's been really nice for me to see him actually want to do something and to create. And actually, a little bit of a surprise for my channel, tomorrow, he's going to be filming a video. He's going to be making a card in my craft area. That's another reason why I want this project done and out of the way, so I can hide every trace of it. He's going to be making a Valentine's Day card for me. And then after Valentine's Day, he'll do a voiceover for it for the channel. We thought that would be pretty fun. Gemini noise. Sorry. I know it's loud. That's it. Hopefully we don't have to cut anything else. Anyway, so yeah. We'll see how his card making skills go. I did make sure to dump my trash before I began, unlike my last live stream when my trash was overflowing, and then our pet rabbit came out of nowhere and then knocked it over and made a huge mess. Alright, let me get this out of the way. I'll come to those later. This washi tape is not the greatest. I'm just being careful to lift it. I have been on a mission. I'm a mission girl, using up stuff this year. Using up washi tape that I don't use. I don't really use it for much. I'll occasionally, you know, I'll put it in the back of an envelope or something, or maybe decorate a pocket letter with it, but I have amassed so much washi tape. And to be fair, it wasn't all purchased. Like, sometimes people just send me washi tape, but no, I've been using it up. You guys are going to be so proud of me when you see comparing, I haven't done it yet, but the craft area share from last year to this year when I get around to it. I love Corin. She is hysterical. I'm a big fan of her channel. Yeah, her husband and her sons are really into, her son, her young one, Dexter, is really into crafting as well. I wish that my husband would be more, because he is a really funny guy. I think he'd crack you guys up. I wish he'd be more involved in stuff on his days off, but he's definitely like a, I don't want to say grumpy, but just he gets tired, and you can pretty much count him out of everything. On if it's a work day, then he can't do anything. Ooh, a mess. But on his days off, he just wants to play on his phone and stuff. I can't complain too much because he does laundry and stuff, so all right. And that's why we love him, is because he's very helpful. So if you popped in afterwards, for my husband, I'm not going to do a traditional Valentine's Day sentiment on the outside. I'm going to write my little love note on the inside because I do have quite a bit to say. The man, I had a crush on him for 2 years. Like, I was desperately in love with him before we ever started dating. So we have a very long, lovely love story. I will write something sappy for him on the inside. But for the outside, because he's just been such a doofus lately, I'm going to use this, I would like to personally congratulate you for getting out of bed today sentiment. I'm going to slip this card into his lunchbox too. So the outside is going to be funny and the inside is going to have a love story. So let's do the card for Rod really quick. I actually have a card base right here. And I'm using a scrap of patterned paper that has this fun cliffside beach sentiment, and we're going to pop that on the card. I'm going to pop actually, let me do the sentiment first. Pop the die cuts on, and then boom. Really simple, really easy, but really fun. Yes, he is adorable. I love that his name is Dexter, too. It's so cute. Okay. I'm probably going to heat emboss on this, so... Oh my gosh. Okay, I thought it would be funny. I love things that just make me laugh. So we have like this real life picture here and just my funny little cartoon lighthouse on top of it. Hysterical. Let me get my sentiment. And this sentiment is from the Ink Road stamps. If you're unfamiliar with them, check it out, especially if you like funny things. They are hysterical. And she just came out with a couple of new stamp sets too. Her name is Lara. And she has a Facebook group. So join that, and she is very generous. She does lots of giveaways, guys. Honestly, I don't think that my husband would even notice. I've slipped things into his lunchbox before and he's not noticed it, and it's not until lunchtime he'll figure it out. I buy the healthy things and he does not eat them. I totally messed up that stamping. That's all right. Let's see how it Plan B. I messed it up. I double stamped a little bit with the Versamark, and it looks like poo, so now I'll just stamp over it with black and leave it at that. He's not going to notice anyway, guys. He's a guy. Yeah, now it just looks like it's a shadowed thing. It's fine. I meant to do this. Covering up your mistakes. Hi, Kathleen. So I have that inadvertent accidental double stamping with the Versamark in the background, and then I put the black on top of it, and now it just looks like it has a cool shadow. So we can say that I meant to do that. New technique I've just invented. I actually was going to heat emboss it in white because I didn't want to use black. I didn't think it would show up, but the black is showing up just fine, so it's fine. If I thought it was that bad, I have more of that paper, I would have just taken out more. But this year, we're all about using up what we have. Obviously, still buying new stuff because we just gotta, but use up what we have. Happy mistake, right? I've just invented a new card making technique. And you all were here for that history. Okay. And incidentally, this stamp set is really fun too, as I'm pimping for the Ink Road. If you want to take a look at it, it's called a Majestic AF. And I'm sure because you're all on the internet, you know exactly what AF stands for, but really fun little set here. And I love the little unicorn heads. They're so cute. This one is fun. Freaking majestic, right? All right. Fun sentiment for Hubsies. You get this set aside. And here's a closer look at the lighthouse one before I put it away. This is actually a new set, and I hauled it recently, but I don't think the video is live yet, so it's fine. All right, easy card for hubby. That's gonna be funny. It's gonna be fun. Let's get some tape on here. I completely agree, Teresa. And it's so unfair, and I'm saying this semi-sarcastically, but that they release so many things in the spring. Like, I don't know about you, but I never get the chance to catch up. Just ever. Every time that I think I'm caught up, I am not caught up on getting all the things that I want to get. And even if I had them, I wouldn't have the time to use them all, so I'm just a terribly materialistic person when it comes to craft stuff. And I am not like that in real life. Every other aspect of my life, I'm a very frugal and careful person. I'm a careful shopper. I'm a coupon user. I use rebate apps for grocery shopping. I buy secondhand clothes. But it's like Lawn Fawn release. Money, money, money. Oh, good for you, Kathleen. You're a role model to us all. Tell us how you do it. You know what hurts me is watching YouTube. I tend to avoid some of the, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this, but some of the bigger names in card making, I tend to avoid their channels a lot. When times are a little bit, when money is more of an issue. Yeah, I can't watch the Lawn Fawn. No. I don't watch Jennifer Maguire. Christina Werner, Prairie Paper and Ink is probably my favorite card making channel, and I will avoid her channels like the plague. I will not. If I see my favorite things pop up with a preview, nope, I'm not looking. Because that's where I get into trouble. But a lot of videos from card makers that do things like I do, like, okay, maybe you have some new stuff, but you're also using product from older release that might be cheaper. You're using stuff in your stash. Those help. Yes. And you know what? And I've talked to Jennifer Maguire on Facebook before. She's a very nice, very lovely person. So I don't mean this the wrong way, but a lot of the big names, they're just given a lot of their stuff. And that's great. And they should be given a lot of their stuff. Go for it, because it helps sell it to us. So I think that we have to remind ourselves of that. We are not, they're enablers. We are not them. Definitely have to make sure that our rent is paid and that our lights are on and all that stuff. I don't know if I'm going to use these clouds now that I have them. Let's play with it a little bit. I try to, with my supplies, I don't know, maybe the clouds I'll use, but the fence I don't think fits here. A lot of my supplies is stuff that I've earned from selling my cards. She is she is so nice, Jennifer McGuire. Again, if you guys are not in the Stamping Enablers Facebook group, you need to be. It's not only her, but there are tons and tons of different creators and small business owners, even like a lot of the owners of the companies that we buy from are in that group. And, you know, I've never met anybody that's not nice, but I would say that Jennifer McGuire is probably one of the absolute nicest people that I've ever interacted with there. And I would recommend her to, even though her card making style is not the same as mine, she is so nice. I'm a huge supporter. Okay, I'm just putting my clouds on. Do we need any extra bling? He's a straight guy. He doesn't care about glitter. Ooh, you know what would have been fun? If he didn't just start this new job, I would have put a glitter bomb in here or something. You guys, I forgot to tell you too, I think that he's recently been promoted too, so we're all really, we're all kind of really excited and really kind of blown away a little bit with how fast this is happening. We just, he just started this new job in September, the middle of September, after having been with his former company for 20 years. They've already promoted him to mid-level management, or higher mid-level management. He's completely bypassed a tier of management entirely with their company. So we're all we're all really really blown away with how fast this is happening and the opportunity that was given to him. Having more water. Okay, so here's a card for hubby. Does it need anything? Does it need anything more? Let's think about it. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put the card aside and then I'll come back to it. Maybe it needs some Nuvo drops. I don't know. It looks like it's not done, but I can't figure out what else it needs. You know what it might need? How about some birds? I do not have the confetti thrower die because I hate mess. Hate mess, and I would be so pissed if somebody sent me a card that had confetti throwing in it. I just would like to do that to my husband because it would be funny, but at this new job, I'm not sure if they're his coworkers in the break room will think that it's as funny. So I think it needs some birds. Yes, let's do some stuff on the windows of the lighthouse. I'll do that last though because I'm a big slob and I may accidentally. So we've got some birds. Birdage, good. Where did I put my... Oh, here it is. What about some glitter on the rocks, just so that they kind of shimmer a little bit? Yeah, shimmer pen. Let me get this put away. I compulsively clean as I go. This is why it takes me 4 months to make like one process video. Let me find my pen. I had to move it off my desk to make room for filming, but I have one of those large desk carousel organizer things. Alright, so this is a shimmer pen from Spectrum Noir, and I'm just adding a light layer of shimmer on the rocks here just so that they kind of glisten like sand would normally. So unfortunately it's not going to show too much for you guys, but you'll know that it's there, and he probably won't even notice that it's there. Again, straight guy doesn't notice stuff. I made the funnest card, was it last year? for my best friend, and he noticed every last detail on the card. Something to be said for your best gay friends, or your gay husband. Yes, who else is crafting and watching? Let's craft together. I think of it as visiting with friends. So I'm putting this on last because I'm a slob and I will knock it over. Got a little window there. Boom. Card for hubby. When it's dry, I'll take a picture of it and put it on my Instagram. Sorry, I've got some sun peeking in from my window. I have some drawers to the side of me that I use as a drying rack. Boom. Husband, done. Check that off the list. Kid. Where's the stuff for my kid? Cuties. I'm going to have to cut a shadow box card for her. Here they are. Here's the stamp set with the little I love you. Oh, sorry, Deb. Are you able to take anything for those aches? I don't like hearing people aren't feeling well. I'm going to use some paper from here, and I think I decided... I don't know if I have enough, but I wanted to use this paper here for the inside of my shadow box card because I thought that would be fun. I practically live on ibuprofen and prescription muscle relaxers. I'm sorry. I hope that it does kick in soon for you. All right, am I going insane? Where did I put the shadow box card die? Found it. Okay. So, is anybody not familiar with the Lawn Fawn shadow box card? This came out, I think it was their fall release of 2017, maybe. I want to make sure that my paper orientation is going to be the same either way. And I also want to make sure that two of these are going to fit. Yeah, they will on the paper. I just thought this fun sort of zoo scene on the inside of the card would be nice. And then the outside of the card will be just this blue. You just bought the shadow box card die? It's really fun. Especially if you make cards for children, I find that. And one year, I think the first Christmas I had it, I made shadow box cards, but I made them as gift tags for my sisters and my mom and my aunts and stuff. And I figured they could use them as like Christmas decor. Gemini noise. They could use it as Christmas decor after Christmas. Okay, that was one. Being careful with this washi tape. Now I want the next side to orient this way so that the sides, the pattern still is the right way up, either way I use it. And then it doesn't really matter which way the score line goes because I could just use my bone folder to fold it backwards the other way. So basically you just, oh sure, this is, actually let me run this through and then I'll put it back and then I'll show you the whole die set. Basically you're going to cut two of these and these are going to work as your sides. So two of those will give you 4 sides of the box. It's ridiculously easy, I promise. All right, so here is that piece, and I'll put it back with the die set, and then you can look at that. And they also have quite a few gosh, 4 or 5 maybe add-ons. Oh yeah, you pre-ordered the add-ons. They're great. I only have one of the add-ons, I think. So here is the set. Here. And this is, it's not missing any pieces or anything. This is the whole set. This large one is the one that makes your the two panels for your sides. You've got 2 different cutouts that you can use to make the window that actually makes it makes the front of it open, or you can use the circle here. It comes with a little birdie. It comes with 3 different size stitched trees and branches, and then it comes with 2 different little hills that you put on the inside, and everything's all scored lovely. And here's one of the add-on. This is the theater add-on that I have to go with it. We're not going to be using this one today, but and they have an ocean one now, and then a couple of other ones that's names escaping me that's coming out now. What else have you ordered from the release, Teresa, and what has everybody else ordered? Let's talk about lawn fawn. I think the only other thing that I'm going to cut is I'm going to cut one little hill for my little koala to sit on. And I'm pulling out underneath my desk, this is my colored paper scraps. And I'm going to go through here and see what I have for scrap I can use. I think that one will work. What about the hay? Never been one to do things the way they should have done. Oh, yeah, to file bankruptcy. I got really lucky, and this only happens once every couple of years, but I save my rewards points for any site that offers rewards points, and I save them until I get the maximum amount of rewards. So I had like a $100 credit at a couple of different sites. So technically I haven't paid, I've only paid like $7 for my lawn fawn. But to be fair, that also means that I've spent like $1,000 or whatever it is at that site. Whatever site I've purchased from. And I'll go through all of that when I actually get the stuff, and then I can show you how I did it. And there's quite a few different sites that offer rewards points, and I don't even look except for maybe once a year, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm really close to this and this and this. So whenever I get the most amount of points to max out on the max coupon that they have is when I will use it. And let me tell you, that came in handy this year, because I don't know about you guys, but our tax return, super delayed this year. Not impressed. So normally I'd be like, I just use it with my fund money from the tax return. Nope. No, I will not use my fund money from the tax return, because our taxes haven't even been accepted yet, and we filed weeks ago. Okay. So I'm just doing very basic scene in here. I'm just going to have my little koala on the inside holding his tasty little nummy here. Oh, and I forgot to cut a hole. I'll figure out which one's the front first. So they're scored to go, well, actually you could go either way you want to do. I've got my little bone folder right here. I want this pattern to be on the inside and this pattern to be on the outside. So I'm just going to fold everything in and press it down with my bone folder. And this one has a flap as well. This is where our tape is going to go. So I'm going to fold that in, and I'm going to score it as well. And then I'm going to do the same on the other one, and because I cut the orientation, I moved the die 180 degrees. This side is just the opposite of this side, but that's good because that's how it's going to stick together. Okay. Or not. Did I totally mess that up? I think I did. That's okay. So I'm going to take some, let me cut the hole in the front first. This is the one I messed up on, so I'm going to cut the hole in the front of this one. And I'm just going to use the circle here that's going to make a small window because I want to stamp my sentiment here on the bottom. I need to be able to see the score line, which I have a hard time seeing. I'm just going to run this through and cut a hole in the front. I'm an impulsive bargain shopper, though. You know what? I suffer. I like beat myself up about it as soon as I spend money on something for like days afterwards. And I don't know why. My crafting money doesn't even affect our household money. It just, I think I'm just programmed that way to feel guilty about money. Okay. So now I'm done die cutting everything that I need. Oops. And possibly ripping my thing. I ripped it. I ripped it. No problem. No problem. We'll cover it up. We'll cover it up. I was telling you earlier that this washi tape is kind of crappy and it'll rip paper. It ripped it. No problem. We'll just make it a banner and we'll cover it up instead. No problem. So I'm going to take score tape, and it is important to use. I'm a big believer in going cheap and getting generics when you can. If you're using interactive cards and cards that actually have to stay together, I'm a big believer in just using the brand name stuff. So I have some brand name score tape here. This is 1/8 of an inch score tape. I only have it for these kind of emergencies. Normally I just use generic double-sided tape and I don't have any issues with it. But when you want something to stay together good, use brand name. So I have some score tape here. Really easy. I'm just going to lay it down on my flap. I'm going to burnish it down with my bone folder. Remove the wax paper. And then line it up with the other side. And then I'll burnish it once more just for funsies. Boom. And all I have to do is finish, put the inside in and then finish assembling it, and then this is my shadow box card. I'm going to take my little hill here, and you can put 2, you could probably even do more than 2, however many you wanted to fit in here, but the set only comes with 2 different little hills. And I'm going to put some more brand name score tape right on the inside of these. I wouldn't use glue. Well, you can use glue if you're going to let it sit and let it dry for an hour or whatever and then come back, then go for it. But I just like to use the tape. I'm going to take burnish it down. I'm going to take the little, stick them off. Yes, use brand name. It's fine, in my opinion, especially with your tapes. You get generics. No problem. My 1/4 inch tape is all generics. I use the stuff from Joann's that you can get, the Ms. Sparkle & Company. I have tons of these. I use scrappy tape, but if you're going with 1/8 inch tape for your tiny little bits and pieces, do not cheap out. It is not the place to try to save a whole dollar because you will be re-gluing your projects forever. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to line my little flap up against the bottom where I want it. I'm going to burnish it down. I'm going to bring this side over. And I'm going to take this flap. Ugh, I put it in the wrong spot. This flap. And then push this over here and then just close the 2 sides. And that's how you place your hill. And then we're just going to close this up. More brand name tape. Yeah, the Joann stuff is, tape is great. It sells out pretty quick here. Well, we don't have a Joann's here, but there's one about an hour away. And I always stop in and see if they've refilled their display, because it's usually a huge mess, that whole area where the tape goes. It's usually a very big mess. I'm just going to bring the two edges together. Sorry, I have to actually bring it close to my eyes because I'm blind. So I'm sorry this is out of your view. I'm just going to bring them together and then burnish it down. And then that's it. So we're going to make a little sentiment here. We're going to put the little cutie patootie on the inside. So let's see. I haven't decided yet if Leah's going to know what eucalyptus is. I don't know. Let me get some ink though. I'll ponder it as I grab my ink. And let's, ooh, I have some of this really light blue cardstock we can use. A little scrap, more scrap paper. Use up scraps. Get this put away. It's my stamp positioner. I love my Ranger dye inks. They're going dry because I've probably had them for so long. I don't think it's because I've used them all up, but I'm thinking I might go with a different line of inks. I don't know. Do we put eucalyptus in it or not? Let's think. I'm just doing it. Lining up my sentiment. Is this a Stampin' Up product that we're discussing? Oh, sorry, you can't see. I've got too much crap on my desk. I just have this scrap of ice blue paper and I'm just stamping my sentiment in pink. Because I like pink. My daughter's favorite color is actually blue. Okay, that's it. Really easy. Oh my goodness, and I might actually meet my goal of only streaming for an hour. Where did I put my thingamajig? Here it is. Just put my stamps away. Boom. Let's cut my little sentiment out. I don't know where my Ranger scissors are. I can't find them. I had them and now I don't. Just cutting out a little sentiment. That's straightened out. Let's give it wings. I think she's gonna love it. Has anybody seen Avriel's new release? Oh my god, they have a new llama set. It's dangerous. It seems like everything that everybody comes out in spring I absolutely must have. And here's the funny part, especially coming from the perspective of somebody who has to sell their crafts in order to buy craft supplies. Spring and summer cards just don't sell very well. That project was my scrapbook, which I actually showed in a video last week. I'll show you real quick because it's right here because I'm still working on it, but it's a Cricut cutting file. And I made this little goldfish here for the front page of our, move it, the front page of our scrapbook. I thought it was fun because for the Huffmans, 2018 was the year of the goldfish for us because it was the year that we got our goldfish. Yeah, well, there's Easter. I have a hard time making Easter cards. I feel that I don't do Easter right, if that makes any sense. And then, like, I don't know, aside from Christmas and Valentine's Day and like Mother's and Father's Day, there really aren't any other big greeting card events. So if you're actually selling your cards, it makes it a little bit difficult. So a lot of the times I'll focus on uh, just birthdays and things like that because there really isn't anything else that sells. So it's the detriment of us all that all these fabulous, you know, spring and summer themed things come out, and I never like sell the cards that I make with stuff. So and that is my little box, and I'm just going to put my little character. Actually, I'm going to put the little eucalyptus on him first because it'll be easier to do that. I'm using my Lawn Fawn glue, which is the bestest. And then I put some glue on the backside underneath his butt. Just a couple of dots. I love my Lawn Fawn glue. And I'm going to stick it on the inside and just hold it in place for a second. You mean to buy or to sell card kits? And there we go. Cute little card for my daughter. And then this will, I'll wait for it to, the glue has to dry for real before you actually flatten it, but I'll flatten it and then I'll write her a little note on the back here so that it makes it, I don't know why they call it a shadow box card. It's more of just like a miniature shadow box, but then you can write your little message. And then where's the card for my husband? So to be fair, I had a plan before I went into this, and I had most of the supplies out, but 2 Valentine's Day cards that are personalized for the people that I love in an hour, I think is pretty cool. You mean like have me assemble card kits and sell it that way? I've not done that. I would think that, I guess depending on what you're selling, you might run into some issues with copyright. I'm not entirely sure how that would work legally or ethically for me to do it. I do at Christmas time. I do sell paper crafting kits for kids, but they're not. They don't have like stamps or anything in them. It's basically just like ephemera pieces that I've made throughout the year and pattern papers and stuff like that. Deb, I sell my cards mostly on Etsy, but I also have a Facebook page. I don't do a lot of business from Facebook unless it's a friend or a repeat customer that has come in, has found me to purchase that way. Etsy is not, it's not an easy place to sell. It's pretty hard to eke. I wouldn't be able to eke a living out of doing this, but I earn enough that I, after all the fees and everything, that it at least supports my craft shopping. And it should really be, I should be reining back on my craft shopping to help pay bills a little bit more, but I always say that I'm going to. And I never do. But yeah, in terms of kits, like the companies that you see that sell crafting kits, they either are, or card making kits, they're either the producers of the content that's in the kit. Like Hero Arts, they make the stamp sets, they make all of those images that they own the copyrights to because they're the ones that have designed them. And like Simon Says Stamp, all of the supplies that they have in the kits, they've gotten permission from the manufacturer and they're using their own licensed images and stuff like that. I don't want to say for sure because I don't know, but I don't think that legally I can say by, this Lawn Fawn is on sale. I can buy 20 sets of this and then assemble it into different kits and then sell it. And it's not that I think there's anything wrong with that, but I might not be able to use the Lawn Fawn name in that way advertising my own kit. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I would be using the Lawn Fawn name to sell a product that that I've assembled, a supply that I've assembled. And I'm not sure that you can do that or not. Yeah, a lot of the stamp companies have what they call an angel policy, where you agree by using it that you're not going to stamp out images and then share them and then send it to your friend. Now, a lot of people will kind of do that anyway, but they do it on the slide, like do it on the slide. Like you don't make it like I couldn't, oh, I've stamped out all of these and I'm gonna, send it. I mean, you're not supposed to be doing that. And if you do something like that, I'm not passing any judgment. Just don't make a big deal out of it. Don't advertise. Don't show it off that that's what you're gonna do. Just do it and kind of keep it to yourself, just because it does violate the angel policy. And that's just because they want everybody that wants to use their images, they want you to buy them. Some of the companies are starting to go to digital content, which is really cool. If we have any Kindred Stamps fans here, they're starting to convert a lot of their older stamp sets to digital stamps, which is really cool because then you can buy them for really cheap. And if anybody is, that stingy that they feel that they need to print out and share a $2 digital file, then shame on you. But shame on you. Everybody should buy that content and use it for themselves. But I think that's really cool, and that might be what kind of a way that this industry is going to change in the future is by, we used to have wood stamps that took up space everywhere, and now we have clear stamps and they're a lot easier to store, but digital stamps, you store them online. You don't have to store them anywhere. So that might be kind of a future of the way that this craft is going to go. And if you do plan to sell your cards, definitely check out the angel policies of the companies that you're going to use for other things as well. You can't sell a lot of images, or you can't sell, some companies you can't sell stuff that you've made with their images. Some of them have limitations on that. Some of them you actually have to write to them and get permission. The one that's popping out in my mind right now is Art Impressions. I actually had to write a letter to them on my company letterhead stating that I'm requesting permission to use your images on my cards for sale. And when they responded to me, I have a physical letter stating that I have permission to do that. So I, granted permission to do that. A lot of them it's not anywhere near as that. I know maybe Deb can clarify it a little bit. I think if you're using a Stampin' Up image, it's okay as long as you have to put right on it that it's a Stampin' Up image. You have to make sure that they get credit, even if they don't require credit. I tend to, let me show you. I'll just show you my. Have a good day, Deb. I'll just show you one of my things on my Facebook page, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm not required to, not Facebook. I meant I meant Etsy. So Lawn Fawn, for example, does not require you to. It does not require you to give them credit for using their image, but they suggest it. So let me link so this is a card that I have for sale in my Etsy shop that I use Lawn Fawn supplies, and you can see towards the bottom where I say some images and sentiments are from a stamp set by Lawn Fawn, and I use the little copyright symbol used here with limited commercial permissions of their angel policy. So that's just one step that I take it further to make sure that anybody that might want to question me knows that I am familiar with the Lawn Fawn angel policy, for example, and they're all different. But so I take it one step further and I actually name them right on my item, so so that it can never be questioned. I hope you feel better, Deb. Does Stampin' Up sell? So they sell a stamp with that little copyright symbol that people can use. That's interesting. Honeybee Stamps does that now, and I think that's really cool. That's actually, that stamp set's been on my wish list forever. Anyway. I'm just trying to get caught up on some of the typing. I'll have to look for that. I don't have a lot of Stampin' Up stuff. Just a space issue, and I've weeded out a ton of stuff from my stash, like a ton of different brands and stuff. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna stop buying this because I have way too much. I had way too much stuff. I'm now down to just 5 shoebox totes of stamp and die sets. I'm down to it, and I can't go any further than that because we just don't have the space for it anymore. Yeah, Honeybee, they're so unfair how fabulous everything is. And I'm really trying, especially as I've been organizing and purging, to make sure that I don't have kind of repeat themes of things unless stuff can go together. I was really excited to see that lighthouse stamp that I made the card for my husband with today. I didn't have any other lighthouse stuff, so that's why I bought that. And I'll kind of go through, and like when I bought the, what is it, the, one of the space stamp sets from Lawn Fawn, then I made myself destash the one that I had from My Favorite Things so that I didn't have 2 different space sets unless they work together. So I have the, I think it's called Out of This World, and I also have the Beam Me Up. So those are different, but they kind of work together. It's kind of a continuation of the theme. So that's okay because they can all work together and you can get more money's worth out of those different things. But yeah, so it's like, all right, well, if I'm going to have this, then I can't have the other brand. So just trying to make sure that I don't have repeat themes. I get into a lot of trouble with Honeybee stamps. That, and Honeybee stamps is so versatile too because they have those huge sentiment stamp sets that you can build different things, and oh my god, like we could get rid of so many stamps, so many other sets if we just invested in those. I love Honeybee. I love everything. Who am I kidding? One that I'm really getting into again is Pink and Main. I've always loved Pink and Main, but I kind of haven't been paying attention to them in maybe the past year, and now it's like, oh, I want this and this and this and this and this and this. Anyway. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's now past 1 o'clock my time. I need to have a little bit of lunch, and it's actually the afternoon of phone calls for me, so yuck. Thanks so much for all of your support and your insight today and your help with the cards. I'll have to let you know how they're received. And look for maybe next week or the week after, we'll have my husband, he's gonna film making a Valentine's Day card for me, and then he's gonna do the voiceover for it. So look for that in the next couple weeks. Thanks so much for coming out. I'm gonna take my phone off the thing now, so